most favorable and happy speed, tempests themselves, high seas, and howling winds, the guttered rocks and congregated sands, traitors then seek to clog the guiltless keel, as having sense of beauty do omit their mortal natures, letting go safely by the divine Desdemona. So take a look at the footnotes. So you'll notice here that Cassio is personifying the seas, sort of saying that the only reason that Desdemona and the ship that she was on was able to battle the tempest and get through unscathed was because the seas recognized her beauty and because of that let her pass. What is she? She that I spake of, our great captain's captain, left in the conduct of the bold Iago, whose footing here anticipates our thoughts. Ascend its speed, great Jove, Othello guard, and swell his sail with thine own powerful breath, that he may bless this bay with his tall ship, make love's quick pants in Desdemona's arms, give renewed fire to our extinct spirits, and bring all Cyprus comfort. So I'll take a second to let you look at the footnotes. Okay, a couple things that you want to take note of. We have a mythological allusion where it says Jove. It's just an expression of surprise, but really it's a reference to Jupiter, god of the sky, thunder, Zeus. So you get that mythological allusion. But take a look at the footnote 78 through 79 where it says, whose arrival here has happened a week sooner than we expected, which I'm sure you know, but maybe you just don't recognize the fact that it takes them a while to get from one place to another. It's not like for us where we can fly to a different country in a day or two on an airplane. These guys are on ships for months at a time, and so the arrival is a week earlier than they had originally anticipated. Because if you remember back to Act 1, it talked about how Iago was going to leave after Othello and after Cassio so that they could take the wives safely across to Cyprus. Enter Desdemona, Iago, Rodrigo, and Emilia, and Cassio continues, O behold, the riches of the ship is come on shore. You men of Cyprus, let her have your needs. And of course he's referencing to Desdemona at this point. The gentlemen make curtsy to Desdemona. Hail to thee, lady, and the grace of heaven, mentioning heaven again, before, behind thee, and on every hand, and wheel thee round. I thank you, valiant Cassio. What tidings can you tell me of my lord? So even though it seems like something small, you want to take note of and make mention the characterization of Desdemona here, that the first thing that she asks about is Othello, that she truly cares about him and she's worried about his safety. He is not yet arrived, nor know I aught, but that he's well and will be shortly here. Oh, but I fear, how lost you company? So how did you get separated? The great contention of the sea and skies parted our fellowship. From within, a sail, and a shot is fired. But hark, a sail. They give their greeting to the citadel. This likewise is a friend. See for news. The second gentleman exits off the scene. Good ancient, you are welcome. Cassio kisses Emilia. Welcome, mistress. Let it not gall your patience, good Iago, that I extend my manners. 'Tis my breeding that gives me this bold show of courtesy. So Cassio is explaining why he has just kissed Emilia. So take a look at the footnote. Okay, so Cassio pretty much says, don't be offended that I just kissed your wife, and you want to recognize, I guess, for lack of a better phrasing, that he's not tonguing her down. He's just giving her a nice, friendly, welcoming kiss. It's nothing more than that at this point. Iago says, Sir, would she give you so much of her lips as of her tongue she oft bestows on me, you would have enough. So we get this characterization of Iago. I told you to watch how other men treat women, and it seems as though Cassio's nicely treating the women at this point, but Iago's talking about his wife here, and he's pretty much saying to Cassio, if you had to hear her talk as much as she talks my ear off all the time, maybe you wouldn't be so courteous to her. So he's saying something pretty negative about his wife Emilia. You want to mark that. Desdemona says, alas, she has no speech. You take a look at the footnote, and it says she's not a chatterbox, as you allege. So Desdemona stands up for her. We've talked about the relationship between Desdemona and Emilia, that it's more of a sisterly best friend type of bond than anything else. And faith too much. I find it still when I have list to sleep. Marry before your ladyship, I grant. She puts her tongue a little in her heart and chides with thinking. Okay, so Iago is reiterating the fact that she talks too much, and he makes mention of the fact that she likes to talk, especially when he's trying to sleep, so it's annoying for him. You have little cause to say so. Come on, come on. You are pictures out of doors, bells in your parlors, wildcats in your kitchen, saints in your injuries, devils being offended, players in your huswifery, and huswives in your beds. So I'll give you a second to take a look at the footnotes, but you want to make sure that you mark that Iago isn't talking just about his wife anymore, because he says you, so he's talking about all women at this point. Okay, so to go through what Iago just said about women, he said that when you're outside, you're among other people, and other people are looking at you, you act like you're perfect and you have the most courtesy in general. When he says bells in your parlors and wildcats in your kitchen, you looked at that, really loud and annoying on inside their own homes. They act like that they're the ones offended if anything happens to them. And when he says the last line there, players in your huswifery and huswives in your bed, you just play like you're good at being a housewife, but really the only time you show any energy is during sexual intercourse. So Iago is pretty much saying that the only thing that women are good for is sex at this point. Desdemona says, O fie upon thee, slanderer! Nay, it is true, or else I am a Turk. You rise to play and go to bed to work. You shall not write my praise. No, let me not. What wouldst thou write of me if thou shouldst praise me? So Desdemona is saying to Iago, if you had to give me some kind of praise, what would you say about me, or what do you think about me in general? It's probably not a good thing for her to be asking. Flip the page. Oh, gentle lady, do not put me to it, for I am nothing if not critical. So Iago warns her, and he says that's, you probably don't want me to go ahead and give you my opinion. Desdemona pushes him. Come on, I say. There's one gone to the harbor. Take a look at the footnote. Okay. She tells him to try. And so Iago says, Aye, madam. I am not merry, but I do beguile the thing I am by seeming otherwise. Come, how wouldst thou praise me? So she's trying to say, I'm worried about Othello at this point, so she wants something to pass the time. She wants Iago to talk to her about what he thinks of her. I am about it, but indeed my invention comes from my pate as birdlime does from frieze. It plucks out brains and all, but my muse labors, and thus she is delivered. If she be fair and wise, fairness and wit, the one's for use, the other useth it. Go ahead and take a look at the footnotes. Okay, so in the first few lines, Iago openly admits that it's hard for him to say something kind in general. And then we take a look at the last couple of lines saying, if she's pretty and she's intelligent, then she can use both of them in her favor. Or if she only has one, then she can figure out how to use just the one in her favor. So saying that women are clever, but don't take that as a positive just yet, because we continue with the conversation. Desdemona says, well praised, how if she be black and witty? Take a look at the footnote for black. So you see where it says dark complexioned and brunette. So Iago says, if she be black and thereto have wit, she'll find a white that shall her blackness fit. Take a look at the footnote. She will find a fair complexion mate suited to her dark complexion, punning on white person and contrasting white and black with suggestion of sexual coupling. So it's sexual in nature. We've got puns here that's supposed to add to the lightness of the tone. Of course, you want to be marking the light and dark imagery as well. Worse and worse, how if fair and foolish. So Amelia asked specifically, what if the girl is pretty, but she's not so smart? How is she going to find a mate? What would you say then? She never yet was foolish that was fair, for even her folly helped to an heir. Take a look at the footnotes. Great. Iago's pretty, I don't know if the footnotes help you, but Iago's pretty much saying that if she's stupid, it will only make her more attractive to a man because it would make her easier to dominate in that sense. So her stupidity would be attractive in this case. These are old fond paradoxes to make fools laugh at the alehouse. What miserable praise hast thou for her that's foul and foolish? So Desdemona says, well, what if a girl is ugly and stupid? Then what's she supposed to do? And Iago says, there's none so foul and foolish thereunto, but does foul pranks which fair and wise ones do. You take a look at the footnote to really understand the meaning of what he's saying here, and the footnote tells you sluttish. So Iago pretty much says it doesn't matter if a girl is stupid and she's ugly, because she's just going to play the same tricks that all the other women do to try and get herself a man, basically using her sexuality to rope a guy into a relationship with her.